Hey guys! Sometimes veganizing past favorite foods is hard. This is not one of those times. Curry beef buns were my second favorite item to get from Chinese bakeries when I was young, and lucky for the kid in me, recreating those soft golden buns with savory mild curry flavor and meaty texture is easy. First, you want to make the filling. I'm quickly going over this part as you can watch the in-depth version if you click on the annotation, info link at the top right, or find the link in the description. But stay with me a while and you'll see that it's really simple. TVP, or texturized vegetable protein, is made from dried defatted soybeans and will soak up the meaty flavor from this water mixed with Marmite. For depth of flavor, we're also going to include a few shiitake mushrooms finely chopped. Then before we start cooking, mix up some water, soy sauce, hoisin sauce, and cornstarch. Take everything to the stove and cook the onions and garlic with the mushrooms until the onions are soft. I'm using coconut oil to give the crumbles the fatty mouthfeel that are characteristic of Chinese curry beef buns, but you can always use the cooking oil of your choice or go for the water sauté method if you want to cut out the fat. Then we add the spices and soaked TVP. The mild Madras curry powder gives us the familiar yellow color and beautiful aroma. I use red chili flakes for heat. You can add salt and pepper now if you think you know what you're doing. Otherwise, taste and adjust for those after cooking. After a couple of minutes, give the cornstarch mixture a stir and pour it in. This will thicken up really quick, and when it does, turn off the heat, transfer the crumbles to a bowl, and let it cool down while you start the dough. This dough recipe is pretty basic. Combine a cup of warm plant milk, brown sugar, and yeast. I'm using almond milk and traditional yeast. I always give this a few minutes to bloom to make sure that the yeast is still active. Then a teaspoon of sea salt and one special ingredient, aquafaba. You probably already have it in your pantry, but you pour it down the drain. It's the cooking water from a can of chickpeas. Yes, that is super weird, and no, it doesn't make your buns taste like chickpeas. And yes, you can avoid preservatives by making it from scratch. And yes, you can leave this ingredient out if you don't have it handy, but I highly recommend it as it makes a real difference that I'll show you at the end of this video. So once it's whisked in, add your flour. Add a half cup at a time and stir it in until using a whisk is no longer an easy thing. Switch to chopsticks and keep adding flour a half cup at a time. Finally, when the dough has formed enough that you can knead it by hand, turn it out onto a clean surface with a little extra flour and knead for a minute or two. It should be fairly soft and a little sticky. Just sprinkle extra flour if it sticks a whole lot, but try not to add too much. Then place the dough back into the mixing bowl and cover it. Leave it in a warm, draft-free location to rise. On chillier days, I put it in the oven with just the oven light turned on. When the dough has doubled in size, take it out of the bowl, deflate it a bit, and divide it up into 16 pieces for regular-sized buns. Knead them a little bit, just to form round dough balls. Now it's time to fill them up. These curry crumbles were in the fridge, so they're cold, but you can use warm filling too. Choose the first dough ball you formed, as it has sat there for a little bit and the gluten inside will be more relaxed than the rest. You can flatten it with your hand or roll it out lightly into a disc, but don't make it too thin. Hold the dough in your palm. Then place a few tablespoons of the curry crumbles in the center. Gather up the sides and pinch at the top to cover up the filling. Pinch and twist to secure, then place the bun with the puckered side down to create a smooth topped bun. I find that you can place quite a lot of filling in the middle, and you can carefully stretch the dough up from around the sides to cover it up. When all your buns are formed, cover them with a warm damp towel and let them rise until doubled in size. If you used warm filling, this will be really quick. If you used cold filling like I did, this will take longer. I waited about 30 minutes for these. Start preheating your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 Celsius if you haven't already. I'm trying something a little bit different. Aquafaba makes a great egg replacer in some recipes, so I'm brushing on top of these to see how they turn out. On the other buns, I'm doing my usual half maple syrup and half water wash. Sesame seeds go on everything because I think it looks nice. Bake these in your preheated oven for 20 minutes. They came out looking like this. In this mini test, the maple syrup wash wins for looks. But this here is why I recommend the aquafaba in the dough itself, this bubbly looking crumb. It's the same kind of crumb that I saw in the buns I used to get from my favorite Chinese bakeries. But how do they taste? Just like the curry beef buns I used to love, now way healthier and leaving our animal friends out of the equation. And these look just like the original too. Like the bakery versions, these buns are best eaten on the first day, but if you have to, you can store them in the fridge, nuke them for 10 seconds or so to reheat, or put them in a panini press or waffle maker and make day-old buns look like fancy gourmet treats. Do you have a favorite bakery bun that you want to see veganized? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.